Morning, y'all. I wanted to introduce you guys to Dynamite. This is the crow at the beginning and end of all my videos. He is a Jersey Giant, which the people we got him from said that he was way bigger than all of their other Jersey Giants. He is so sweet, and just our kids hold him. People come to visit, and he's all about coming up and saying hi. And normally when you have a rooster, you can't do any of this. You can't hold them and love on them. So anyway, he's a good boy. All right, well, I'm gonna let him go, and we're gonna go get some cooking. Hey y'all, it is about time for me to start cooking some dinner. We're gonna make meatloaf today. I'm gonna tell you the ingredients you're gonna need for a single batch for a family 4 or 5, maybe 6, or 1 or 2 and some leftovers. I'm gonna do it a triple batch because I want meatloaf for tonight, and I want to also have some meatloaf for the freezer. We're going on vacation this summer, and sometimes it's just nice to have a meal ready if you don't know where you're going, if they have restaurants that you like. So we're gonna take one of these on trip with us. For the meatloaf recipe, you're gonna need 1 tablespoon ground garlic powder, 1 tablespoon Italian seasoning, 1 tablespoon onion powder, 2 teaspoons parsley, a half a teaspoon salt, a half a teaspoon of pepper. An optional ingredient would be your pepper flakes, a half a teaspoon. You're also gonna need a 1.5 pounds of hamburger, 1 egg, and a half of medium onion. All right, you'll also need a big mixing bowl. I like to mix all my spices and my eggs together so that I know they're evenly dispersed. A 9x13 pan to cook your meatloaf in, and I like to wear rubber gloves so I don't get meat under my nails. You'll also need a jar of chili sauce, whatever brand you want. It's not spicy, it's just like a flavored ketchup to me. All right, guys, let's also preheat the oven to 350. Okay, are you guys tired of crying over cutting onions? No more. No more. Here's a hint. I have tried everything out there. I've tried wearing the glasses. I've tried the lit match in your mouth. Don't do that. You burn your nose. I've tried holding a wooden spoon in my mouth. That didn't work either. Tried cutting with my mouth, chopping with my mouth open. That doesn't work. Try this. Turn on your vent, not your burners, your vent, and put your cutting board on your stove. If you have an over-the-counter vent, it works the same way. It's moving the air around and it's pushing away from you. The other thing is, you know, if you have contacts, you don't cry when you chop onions because it's a layer of protection. I have one contact in one eye, so I don't cry in this eye, I cry in this eye. So in the movies, if I need one tear, I can cry out one eye. All right, let's turn this vent on and get this onion chopped. All right, with the back of your knife, scrape in your onions. And we're done with this. All right, let's mix all our ingredients in this little bowl. I'm not throwing my eggs on the ground. I actually have a huge box full of eggshells that are gonna go out into my garden. All right, let's just dump in all of these spices. I knew these baby food jars would come in handy. So I'm just gonna get this really well mixed, and then we'll start dumping and mixing that up. So this is what this looks like. It's super thick, but all mixed together so that you know when it's mixed in here, all your bites are together. All right, I'm short. I'm gonna hop on my little stool here so that I can get into my meatloaf here. All right, we're just gonna dump all this in here. All right, now let's just dig in and mix this. When you're mixing meat, don't do this and push on it. Mix it, fluff it, because when you get into cramming it tight, it actually makes your meatloaf really tough. But if you kind of work with your fingers open and kind of knead it, it'll mix together more evenly. All right, so what I have in here is for my family, I'm tripling this recipe. I have 3.5 pounds of hamburger. I have 1.5 onions. I have 3 tablespoons of garlic powder, 3 tablespoons of Italian seasoning, 3 tablespoons of onion powder, 1.5 tablespoons of parsley, 1.5 teaspoons of salt, and 1.5 teaspoons of pepper, and 3 eggs. And my optional ingredient, I have 1.5 teaspoons of the pepper flakes. So notice that there are some big chunks of onion in this. We like that in our family. If you don't like big chunks of onion, you can chop them finer. You could use onion flakes or leave out onion altogether. I have a really good friend. Her husband is allergic to onions. All right, so let's grab our 9 by 13 pan. I'm gonna make 2 separate meatloafs because one, we love extra, and reheating it tomorrow for my husband's lunch, kids' lunch, it's super fast and super easy. The other one, I'm gonna cook it now, and then I will, when it cools, put it in my freezer, wrap it up, take it with us when we go to our next vacation. All right, so I'm just gonna grab half, grab half. All right, get this guy out of the way. All right, so I'm just gonna shape these into 2 loaves. If you wanted to make this one big, huge meatloaf, that's fine. I've done that before and cut it in half, and that's fine. But for this, you literally just shape it. I try to keep it height-wise level with the top of the pan so that it's not a lot of extra cooking time. You wanna cook this pretty quick. The other thing you can do, and I've done this before, is instead of cooking this in here, leaving it raw, throwing it in a zippy bag, throwing it in the freezer, then pull it out of the freezer, defrost it the night before, open your zippy bag, dump it in here, and add your sauce. So any one of those works. This is amazing. Just easy peasy meatloaf. All right. So I also leave a little bit of a moat, I guess, around the meatloaf because I want, if there's a lot of fat, I want it to kind of go away and not like pool on top. So I try to leave a area that it can go. The other thing, and my kids love to do this part, but they are over visiting Nana today. I take 8 fingers. If you have less, that's cool too. And I poke them down inside, not very far, probably to your first knuckle. And then when I pour my sauce over, the sauce goes in the those little holes, and it gets really yummy. All right, so I just do it a few times. My gloves are falling off. So I love this chili sauce. If you don't have chili sauce, you can use tomato sauce, a 1/4 cup of brown sugar, some regular yellow mustard, about a tablespoon, and that would be kind of the equivalent to this, give or take a little bit. This for me is easy. All right, so I'm just gonna pour this over evenly. And you might want to grab a spoon and kind of smear it a little bit. I'm gonna get a touch of water to clean out my jar. I probably got about 2 tablespoons. That's probably honestly a little bit much, but you know what? A little sauce never hurt nobody. All right, let's grab a spoon. All right, so what I like to do is just get, kind of like you're frosting a cake, kind of get it all over the top. It will, as it's cooking, run down the sides, so you don't need to worry about the sides too much. Just get your top cooked. All right, we're gonna grab our aluminum foil. We're gonna put this in the oven for about 45 minutes until the internal temperature of the meatloaf is between 160, 165. All right, so there are 2 sides of foil. I've talked about this before. The shiny side and the dull side. Some people say it doesn't matter, but I think that it does. I always do shiny side toward the food because I feel that it pushes the heat back down onto the food. All right, let's put this guy in the oven. All right, I'm gonna do a 350-degree oven for 45 minutes and then check the internal temp. All right, guys, our timer went off, and let's bring this guy out. Always open your foil away from you. Oh, look at that. So you notice that there is a lot of stuff around. Like I said, I made a good moat. Anyway, I'm gonna let this set for about 10 minutes till it's done boiling. I'm gonna pull the one out that we're gonna have for dinner, and the other one I'm just gonna let set here until it completely cools. I'm gonna wrap it up in foil, and then I'm gonna put it in my freezer for when we go on vacation, and I'll label it. Piece of this. Oh, look at that. Yum. Let's grab a fork. So tender. All the Italian seasoning. Perfect. So this in itself is a low carb meal. It does have onions, which brings up your carbs. So for keto, this is very borderline in your recipe. But this plate is for one of my kiddos. So I'm gonna grab them a piece of bread that they made for science this week. Put that on our plate. See you next time on Cooking on the Farm. I'm gonna go give this to my kids. Let's grab our 9x13 pan. I'm gonna make 2 separate meatballs. Oh my gosh. Okay. Bye, y'all. Oops, wrong camera.